and I'm going to share a case study around Jack. This is still really fresh for me with Jack, so I am a little bit emotional about it. So I will just warn you though before we start. So I first heard about Jack around Easter time. When a colleague spoke to me about the suitability of Healing Together for this little one. I heard the words from her, "He's just so angry and he rages at me and I can't get anything done. I think he needs you." Now, as you can imagine, hearing that as a professional is both heartwarming in someone else can see how much you enjoy working with a child, but heartbreaking as you also immediately see that this child is struggling and needs support. 7-year-old Jack is number 4 of 6 siblings who range from 14 down to 1. His family have had multiple episodes of interventions with colleagues in both early help and social care. And with a family of history of parental and sibling drug use, the death of a step-parent, and a long history of domestic abuse, we can all see why Jack might be feeling angry. I'd love to say that getting to know Jack and meeting his family was easy, but if you've ever had a 7-year-old open the door and immediately swear at you, saying, "Oh, there's an expletive there, sorry, it's not you two, is it?" However, we did get to know each other, and Jack was willing and wanted to start Healing Together group sessions after school, and the first few sessions went okay. We got to week 4 of the group sessions of Healing Together, which for me is normally a week where everyone relaxes. All the children have met everyone else, they know the session layouts, they know what to expect. And Jack was a little fizzy on arrival for one session, but he still wanted to come into group. However, his dysregulation rapidly spiraled and his movements became unpredictable and unsafe for the other children. The night after this, his mum was brilliant. Once home, all he wanted to do was be in the shower. She let Jack stay in that shower for 45 minutes that night, with water running over him, washing his snuggly and beloved sloth. Mum said afterwards it felt like he had to get to this kind of breaking point where he then let everything out and some of his barriers came down and he talked. He was missing his stepsister, he was missing his stepmum who had died, and he had found some words and clarity in his feelings to say this out loud that night in the shower with his sloth. So again, together, Mum and I decided that he wasn't ready. I left it with Mum and worried I had caused him a bit of further trauma by trying to get him back into a session, but we both agreed he needed the summer with no formalities of school, no sessions to come to, and maybe that we should wait until the new year. However, on the 1st of October, you'll see the message that I received from his mum. It says, "Just walking to school with Jack. He's randomly come out with asking me, is he going to see Laura again? You know, that Laura he used to see every Tuesday. I asked him if he wants to go back to see you, and he said yes. Do you think it's worth trying?" Well, so we have. So, and Jack come running into the building with his massive smile and has joined us sessions after school. It's been taking place. It's taken planning, sorry. I know that he needs movement. So we're in a room with lots of space, few distractions by the resources we're bringing in for each session. So such as fidgets, sensory toys and stuffies. I also know that after school, he doesn't want to do writing and needs support for this. And so we've had extra adults available, but we've had a breakthrough. Whilst finding the emotions of sadness and excitement, he had the excitement of using our interactive board, and you've got some images there. It was enough to get him writing down everything that he wanted to say. Jack had his sheet next to him and wrote all of his answers on the interactive board, and then I transferred it onto the sheet for him, and I've printed the images as well. So as you can see, the central one is his feelings of happiness. It would be rainbow shaped, rainbow coloured, and he'd be feeling it in his hands. On the right, you've got his what his sadness looks like for him. It's a rain cloud with spiky pointy triangle shape that makes his feet and his face feel sad. So I know that I would never have thought of using these things when I first started delivering the sessions back in 2022. So on Thursday afternoon, we did week 6 and he ran into the family hub, bright-eyed with a massive smile on his face. He headed straight over to our interactive boards. He was focused on the drawing, but he was listening and taking part in the initial breathing. He was listening and paying attention when his peers were speaking and stood drawing whilst we watched and listened to the video. And then this is when he floored me. Little Jack didn't want to use the interactive board. He didn't want help. He didn't want me to do anything. What he wanted was to come and sit next to me on the other side of the room. And he sat on a chair at the table writing his own buddy letter using the notes we'd made together over the last few weeks. So, and as you can see on screen, you've got all of my feelings are in my body. I feel them in different places in my body. I really need to move, and it helps me feel safer. I like hugs with my mum, and my senses like water and the sound of the ocean. I like being under the shower and love birds because they make me calm.